You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Prosecutors say a Springfield woman poisoned her family, killing her husband and son. Good evening, I'm Ashley Katz.
And hello once again, everybody. I'm David Oliver. Tonight, Diane Stott is facing murder charges and an assault charge for injuring her daughter. Investigators say she admitted to putting antifreeze in their drinks. Color 10 News broke this story at 6, and tonight we investigate. Kevin Schwaller uncovers more about how this mother presented herself to friends.
The claims in the court documents detail a mother acting like anything but what we'd think of as a mother. The pages say she was even talking about going on vacation while her daughter was in the hospital. Bible verses. Sarah update. Out of ICU and able to walk a little. Blessed Mother's Day. This is the Facebook page of Diane Stott. Prosecutors say she admitted to poisoning her family, killing her 62-year-old husband Mark, her son 26-year-old Sean, and injuring her daughter Sarah.
I'm not familiar with anything like this that would, in Greene County, where we would have a family member killing off members of their family.
The Facebook page has a picture of what appears to be her daughter after college graduation.
The allegations would be that she has poisoned them by giving them antifreeze and gave it to them over the course of several days, causing each of them, well, the two of them to die and then Sarah to become extremely sick.
The lead detective wrote, Stott stated she killed Mark because she hated him. She killed her son because he was worse than a pest, and poisoned her daughter because she would not get a job and had student loans that had to be paid. Investigators believe Sarah will live, however the poison may leave her with permanent damage. Diane's online friends seem to have no idea Sarah's serious injuries may be her mother's fault. An anonymous call tipped off police. The documents also showed that a nurse at Cox Hospital told investigators Stott made jokes and laughed while her daughter was in the hospital.
Kevin Schwaller tonight. Thank you, Kevin. A man charged with killing an elderly couple says he is not guilty. Today in court, Jose Huckleberry waived the reading of formal charges. Prosecutors believe he murdered Don and Helen Willingham back in April of 2011. They were both 79 years old and were stabbed to death.
Now a developing story here on your Friday Night News at 10. The U.S. government tonight considers the man who leaked information about surveillance programs a criminal suspect. Edward Snowden faces charges under the Espionage Act. The criminal complaint lists theft of government property, unauthorized communication of national defense information, and willful communication of classified communications intelligence information. Snowden admits to leaking documents to the British newspaper The Guardian and to the Washington Post. Those documents detail the National Security Agency's vast collection of phone and internet data from U.S. citizens. Snowden may be hiding out, we're told, in Hong Kong. The head of the NSA says tonight that surveillance programs are constitutional and have helped stop terror plots.
New at 10, a day after the U.S. House rejected the Farm Bill, we asked a Missouri senator what's next.
5-year farm bill is better than a 2-year farm bill. Probably the worst thing to do at this moment is just another extension. But another extension may be what happens after the House failed yesterday to pass the farm bill.
Senator Blunt believes farmers deserve as much time as possible to know how to comply with the bill. The Republican voted for the Senate version of the bill. The House defeated its 5-year farm bill yesterday, which included more than $2 billion in annual cuts to food stamps.
Missouri State's governing body has now approved an increased budget for the next school year. Today, the Board of Governors approved a 3% increase. That means faculty and staff will get a pay raise. Tuition will also cost more. The board approved that hike back in March. The budget must still be approved by Governor Nixon.
It is officially the first day of summer. Here is Jamie Warner with your Ozarks First forecast.
I'm sure everybody was happy to hear that, right? First day of summer, and with that, we have found some very summer-like temperatures today, topping 90 in a lot of spots, including Springfield. This is only the third time so far this year that we've done that in the Springfield area. 91 this afternoon, 91 also in Joplin, Clinton, Lake Ozark, Harrison. Other locations to the east were just a hair cooler, 90 in Fort Leonard Wood today, 89 in Rolla, as well as West Plains. We did have a little bit of wet weather try to fire during the heat of the afternoon. afternoon, just to the south and southeast of Springfield, across areas like northeastern Stone County, Taney County, into Christian County. Things are quiet now and slowly cooling off. 81 is the current reading here in town. There's a little bit of that, again, spotty shower activity that we had earlier today. Now we're just looking at mostly moonshine, and it looks like we're going to start tomorrow off like we did today with muggy conditions in the low 70s by noon, up to 85. And long about 3 o'clock, wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see something isolated try to pop up again. Looks like even drier weather, though, and even hotter temperatures, too, expected, though, as we get into next week. More on that coming up.
All right, Jamie, thanks. Well, the first day of summer is the day with the most sunlight, 15 hours to be exact during the solstice. And tonight, new at 10, Justin Doherty is live to show how people took advantage.
That's right, David. The Springfield Cardinals game just got over. The sun was up till about the 7th inning, and it finally went down about 9:25, and rightfully so. It rose at about 5:53 this morning, and one particular sport definitely paid in for the sunlight of today.
Then I hit 5 onto here. Yeah, I'm putting 6. You're right. What are you putting, 5?
The summer solstice, a few extra hours of sunlight,
Every 15 hours.
translates into a few extra holes for golfers Jacob and Andrew.
I'm glad that we'll be able to catch a little bit more daylight on the twilight play.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't get off work till 4:30, so means we might get a full 18 in.
But Jacob and Andrew teed off a little later than usual.
Nice shot.
It was more like 5:30 by the time I got here.
And that's okay, because 18 on this day is more likely than any other day,
5 over after 3. That's bad.
no matter how serious they take it.
Just started playing last year. I'm not all that great, but apparently better than him.
Actually, this is my first year taking golf a little bit more serious.
The summer solstice is not just great for pleasure, but business as well.
It's awesome. Gives golfers a longer day, of course.
Even Reggie Smith with Bill and Payne Stewart Golf Course has taken advantage of the one-time occurrence.
I've already played 18 today, and I'm probably going to play a few more before I head home for the night.
The longest day of the year, literally the golfer's daydream.
We try to get every single shot out of it that we can.
I think the summer solstice was meant for a golfer.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And guys, if people are still golfing and they get to that spot where they absolutely cannot find their ball, that's okay. They can just hop over across the street where there's a par 3 course, lights are on, and they can tee off till about 10 p.m., which means I just missed my tee time. Back to you guys.
Lots of fun. Thank you so much, Justin. In our medical coverage, here's a warning before you head outside this weekend about sunscreen. Have you checked the bottle for its expiration date? Experts say many people don't do this, and it ends up using sunscreen that only offers a fraction of the original protection. Most sunscreens will last about 3 years, but that's only if it's kept in a controlled room temperature environment.
Beyond the expiration date, it doesn't become harmful, it just becomes less effective. But it's just a roll of the dice, because you don't know if it's 50% of its original strength or 10% of its original strength, because it all depends on the conditions that it was stored in over time.
Lale says expiration date labels are not required by law, so it's a good idea to write them down on your bottle when you bought them, just to be safe. He says it's even more important to replace lip balm sun repellents year to year, because they are often stored in high temperature environments.
Well, forget trying to just walk and chew gum. Walking and using a phone is the new challenge. Ohio State researchers say in the last 5 years, twice as many pedestrians have been admitted to the ER because they're too distracted to watch where they're going. That number is expected to double, in fact, over the next 5 years. The majority of cases were involving people who were hurt making a phone call rather than texting.
Arkansans are not likely celebrating a recent health report. The Measure of America ranks Arkansas as second worst. The scores are based on things like income, health, and education. Missouri ranked 14th worst. An Ozarks man returned from Afghanistan changed.
Yeah, he suffered some life-changing injuries during the war.
The next thing I remembered was waking up in a hospital bed.
And now his bed is inside a new home. The organization tonight that gave this wounded warrior a home.
Don't forget to like Color 10 on Facebook. It's easy to do. Look for the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com.
Now, some good news tonight here at 10 o'clock. An injured war veteran has a new home in the Ozarks thanks to a national organization. HelpingAHero.org gave a handicap-accessible home to specialist Stephen Markham of Lebanon. During an attack in Afghanistan, he suffered a traumatic brain injury. Markham says he does not consider himself a hero, and he's humbled and honored to have been given this home.
I've met and I know a lot of people that are worse off than me, so I consider myself one of the lucky ones. I can understand from the civilian side, but I think a lot of us that have been hurt, we think of the heroes as our guys that didn't make it back.
By the way, HelpingAHero.org has awarded 90 homes in 21 states. Most of the funding comes from individual donations. Soldiers who preserve our freedom may also be able to now preserve their eyesight.
This is all thanks to a medical breakthrough in Springfield. Nearly 40% of war injuries are to a soldier's eyes, and scientists at Mercy Research and Development have created a contact lens that can emit medication. They're made so medics can apply them in the middle of a battlefield. This technology was unveiled at Jordan Valley Innovation Center today as part of the corneal wound repair program. Senator Roy Blunt helped secure the grant from the Department of Defense to fund the project. The next step is to find a company or investor to mass produce those lenses.
Tonight, new at 10, a Branson icon has some big plans. Mickey Gilley wants to reopen his once popular Gilley's Club in Texas. The performer made the announcement right here on his personal Facebook page today. Fire destroyed the original Gilley's more than 20 years ago. That club, of course, made country music cool and put Pasadena, Texas on the map. It even inspired the John Travolta film, Urban Cowboy. Gilley said he needs to raise at least $3 million for his new club, which would include seating for 2,000 people and, of course, the Mechanical Bowl.
Last weekend, we had a rain out. This weekend, a little bit of a different story, Jamie.
Yeah, plenty of sun to go around. So who's complaining, right? Looks like we've got some wonderful weather if you're going to be outside next to a cool body of water. Otherwise, you're going to want to stay inside where it's nice and cool. Hot temperatures for the weekend and turning even hotter next week. A look at that in your full forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Welcome back. Well, happy first day of summer. Here we are almost 24 hours into it, and things are certainly feeling like it out there. It's been a quiet day for most areas with the exception of Taney County, Stone County, and Christian County. Had a few isolated showers, even a few rumbles of thunder with some of that activity, and there were a couple of spotty, very light showers even a bit further toward the east across parts of Texas County earlier this afternoon. It's quiet now, though, on radar, and it's going to remain quiet, I think, the rest of the night. Meanwhile, to the north and northeast, we've got these big blobs of thunderstorm activity. One wave of that making its way through the lakes and fading away. We've got a couple more clusters back to the north and west, Dakotas through Minnesota. And notice they kind of move around this ridge of high pressure, which is sort of parked right in here. It's actually been centered, that ridge of high pressure has been sort of centered right on top of Missouri today. So even despite having that ridge sitting right overhead, and oftentimes that pretty much keeps you from getting any thunderstorm activity, we did manage to pop off a few isolated storms to the southeast. Now, looking ahead to Saturday and Sunday, as I mentioned, someplace cool to be. That's where you want to be, whether it be by the pool or maybe out at the lake or maybe just doing a float trip. Looks like we'll find temperatures topping out around 90 degrees both days. Just a slight chance for a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon or early evening. So if you are boating, especially in the afternoon, just kind of keep an eye to the sky. If you see the clouds dark and you see a flash of lightning, that's time to bring the boat on in and wait for that storm to pass. It certainly won't last very long. I think the better chances for an isolated shower storm will be Saturday afternoon. Winds will turn a bit breezy too during the afternoon hours. Water temperatures feeling a little nicer, warming up with the warm conditions that we've seen in the last few weeks, now into the mid to upper 70s. In fact, Lake of the Ozarks reporting water temperatures around 79 degrees. Now, what are we going to find moving forward over the next 7 days? Well, for Saturday and Sunday, this will be the general pattern with that ridge of high pressure sort of parked overhead, but temperatures in the atmosphere cool off a bit as you head further southeast. So this makes it a little easier for those isolated showers and thunderstorms to fire right in here across north central areas of Arkansas into south central and southeastern areas of Missouri. But even these areas will likely go dry once we get past Sunday because the atmosphere will be getting even drier and hotter as we head into next week. And that's going to allow for even hotter temperatures too. Looks like we'll see highs in the low 90s by Monday and Tuesday across all of the area, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, maybe into the mid-90s in some spots. This ridge, though, will get whittled away on the eastern side. We'll see a disturbance sort of move around the top of that ridge and then dig down the east side of that ridge, and that'll carve out a trough of low pressure by Friday, and that will usher in a front across the Ozarks by Friday as well. So there could be some relief from this heat by Friday of next week. Until then, though, it will be hot with highs around or above 90 degrees. And we're looking at a pretty long stretch of dry weather for most of us. Looking at our record books through the beginning of the year, this may be the longest stretch of dry weather that we've seen in consecutive dry days since about the middle of January. How about that? Overnight tonight, starry skies down to 71 for the low here in Springfield, about 70 to the east, around 69 in Harrison and Mountain Home. Tomorrow starts off quiet. We'll bubble up some clouds in the afternoon, maybe a shower or storm or two. Highs around 90 here in Springfield, but there are going to be a few spots that maybe go a degree or two warmer than that. And then as we move past this weekend, what we'll find are those temperatures heading just a little bit higher still. Low 90s Monday and Tuesday, as I mentioned, low to mid 90s Wednesday and Thursday. Not expecting any rain Monday through Thursday, and only a slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm, I think, with that front on Friday when it goes through.
Not a bad thing to dry out after what we've seen.
We need it. Of course, you know, last Saturday and Sunday, the big story was the flash flooding that was ongoing across parts of the Ozarks, including Springfield. So this is a much needed opportunity to kind of dry out and let the sogginess go away.
Yes, we will let it go away. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie.
Well, the Springfield Cardinals pounded out 3 early home runs.
And Dan Lucy's coming up in sports. Would that be enough to beat the Travs? Highlights next.
Now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Dan Lucy.
Game 7 of the NBA Championship Series lived up to all the hype, and the Miami Heat lived up to the expectations. And when the final buzzer sounded last night, Miami beat San Antonio 95-88 for its second straight World Championship. The game a lot closer than the final score. The Spurs kept it close through three quarters. Tim Duncan finished with 24 points, but in the fourth quarter, the Heat would pull away behind the inspired play of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Wade scored 23 points, grabbed 10 rebounds despite playing on a bum knee that has plagued him most of the season.
He just helped us win, and that was the bottom line. It was a selfless effort for 2 months, and some players probably wouldn't have played.
This is sweet. This is the sweetest one by far because of everything we've been through, everything I've been through individually, and to get here to this moment, to have that kind of performance, that kind of game, to help lead my team, special, man.
When LeBron James left Cleveland, he said it was to win championships, and he's taken the Heat to the finals all 3 seasons, and last night won his second NBA championship. LeBron finished with 37 points and 12 rebounds and won his second straight finals MVP. The Springfield Cardinals continue their series with Arkansas tonight. Last night, the Travelers whipped Springfield, scoring 14 runs on 20 hits and snapping a 2-game winning streak. Tonight, Cards turn to Tim Cooney, trying to even up his record at 4-4. Big crowd on hand at Hammons Field for fireworks night, and Springfield had the fireworks early. James Ramsey would lead off the bottom of the first with this drive to left that would go over the bullpen for a solo home run to make it 1-0. And then later in that first inning, Chris Swagger would take Matt Owie deep to right. This one would go on top of the Bill Rowe Indoor Facility to make it 2-0. In the second inning, more fireworks for Springfield. Cody Stanley would go deep to center. This one would go out on the berm, another solo home run. That's 3 solo homers, 3-0 Springfield. But Arkansas would tie it up in the third, 3-1 when Luis Montanez would single past third and to left. Travis Witherspoon trots home. Taylor Lindsay rounds third, and he slides across to make it a 3-3 game. Springfield tried to tie it up in the fourth. Vance Alberts with the drive to left, but check out Montanez with the diving catch out there. Springfield, though, wins it on a Cody Stanley RBI single in the 9th inning, the final 5-4. St. Louis Cardinals opened up a weekend series with Texas Rangers tonight. First time that the Rangers have played at Busch Stadium during the regular season. First time Texas has been back in St. Louis since the Cards won the 2011 World Series. And going into the contest, the Texas Rangers trailed the Oakland A's by 1 game in the American League West. The Angels, Mariners, and Astros way behind. St. Louis jumps out in front, bottom of the first. Carlos Beltran rifles this past third and to the left. Matt Carpenter comes around to score to make it 1-0 Cardinals. Later in that first, Alan Craig would shoot the gap to left center. Beltran and Matt Holliday both come in to score to make it a 3-0 St. Louis lead. Texas, though, would rough up Tyler Lyons. It was 3-1 when Elvis Andrews would single to left. Mitch Moreland and Derek Holland both scored to make it a 3-3 game. Texas would take a 4-3 lead, but St. Louis would tie it back up. The ball here gets away from A.J. Brzezinski, and Pete Kozma scores to make it a 4-4 game. Stayed that way into the 9th inning. The Rangers had 2 on, and Nelson Cruz singles up the middle. Ian Kinsler and Andrews both score 6-4 Texas. Rangers take it 6-4. So the Cardinals are now 47-27, and they'll continue this series tomorrow night. Kansas City Royals tried to snap a 2-game losing streak tonight against the Chicago White Sox. 2-0 Chicago, and they get more in the third. Alex Rios rips this to left over Alex Gordon's head, and off the fence, Alexi Ramirez makes it 3-0. Adam Dunn follows with this single to left center. Rios comes in to score to make it a 4-0 game. And then later in that third, 2 on for Dean Viciendo, and he would go deep to left center. This one over the Time Warner sign. A 3-run home run, 7-0 Chicago. White Sox win it 9-1. And finally, some of the best skeet shooters in the Ozarks are taking aim at clay targets this weekend at the Springfield Rod and Gun Club. It's the annual Bob Mitchell Peanut Memorial. Mitchell, a founding member of the club, he loved to eat his peanuts and shoot skeet. The 3-day event started today with doubles. That's when a shooter takes aim at 2 skeet targets. Tomorrow and Sunday, the tournament will test the shooter's skills in the 12-gauge, 20-gauge, 28-gauge, and the 410. Cash prizes going to all of the top guns. So great weather for that, too.
You know, obviously good weather for the baseball game tonight, too.
Yeah,
I can't believe that crowd at Hammons Field. Your video there.
Yeah, Friday night fireworks. They'll pack them in.
It's Dan's favorite night, right?
Yeah, all right. Thanks, buddy.
We'll be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Well, it is summer, and it feels like it, finally.
Folks are going to get tired of us talking about it, I think, over the next couple of months. Hot temperatures, they are here, and we're going to see them for the next 7 days. Looks like rain chances very low through the weekend, and I think almost non-existent for much of next week, at least for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday is when we may see a front try to slip into the area, and with it there could be an isolated shower storm, but I think the big story with that may be a little bit of relief from the heat that we're going to find.
Okay. Got a final thought?
Well, St. Louis Cardinals playing tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, tomorrow, Sunday afternoon at 2, and then it's the All-Star break, and then Springfield down to Texas for a road trip. So the last time I see them for this week is going to be this weekend.
Okay, Dan. Thanks. Well, the weekend is here, isn't it?
It is. Go out and have a great weekend, and join us back here on Monday.
For now, good night, folks.